And if anybody's interested in those pictures from the cover for the chapbook, that is a picture from the sky of me taking a picture out over Naples from an airplane before I took over the controls and piloted that airplane.
Wow.
So I figured I might as well have something like that on there for doing big things, right? And the picture of me jumping out of an airplane on the cover is not from the same day.
But you did jump out.
I was busy piloting a plane. I wasn't jumping out of that same one.
But you did jump out.
I did jump out in one of them.
Eventually.
In Longmont, Colorado.
Yay!
Different flight, yes. Yes, I did. And thank you. And I'm sorry for the long setup then. As a woman, you were meant to do big things. And you are. Ladies and gentlemen, high above the dancing elephants and the clowns driving around in their little cars, honking their horns, high above the lion tamers with their whips and chains, is our main attraction tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, all eyes turn to Athena, the tightrope walker. See her gracefully step out onto that paper-thin wire, bouncing high above everyone else, while all eyes are on her, all without a net. Would you like to see her do a flip, a spin, touch the rope with her tiny, fragile fingers? Athena will put on the grandest of shows for you. Imagine, if you will, the pain she must feel, that fear she must feel. With one wrong move, she falls to her death into the mouths of the lions in between the running clowns. Come, see her perform, watch her walk, watch her move, watch her shake. This is the greatest show on earth. When I was in India, I noticed that women that were there would be wearing leggings even though they had long skirts on, or they would have their shoulders covered or their arms covered, or they would have a shawl. I even bought a shawl there, thank you very much, John, because the women had to cover their shoulders as well. And I even actually saw a woman fully dressed like this go swimming in a pool, and that really kind of confused me when I saw it. But when I think about having to cover women, cover shoulders, legs, when women are second class, then you cover their spirits. Today's next piece, I'm going to start with a quote from an essay from Bob Lamb back in 1976. He wrote, "Every time a man calls a woman a witch, he reminds her of the slaughter of millions whose independence and medical knowledge threatened male dominance. Every time a man calls a woman a babe, he tells her that he thinks of her as a child. Every time a man calls a woman a fox, he tells her she is to be treated like an animal. Every time a man calls a woman a honey, he tells her she is something to be consumed. Every time a man calls a woman a doll, he tells her she's something to be played with. Every time a man calls a woman a bag, he tells her she's something to be used. Every time a man calls a woman a girl, he tells her she can't think like an adult. Every time a man calls a woman a lay, he tells her that she's no good on her feet. Every time a man calls a woman anything other than a woman, he tells her who the boss is. So, yes, we all know who the boss is, boys. You've done such a good job of telling us. For this next piece, I think I'm not going to play my guitar and bow for it. I'm going to take a break from that one. This is a story about a woman who's called Diana talking about her trip to Mexico City. So I decided to take a trip to Mexico City. I decided that this was going to be the trip that I would make by myself. This was going to be the trip that I would reclaim my independence with. It was going to be the trip where I'd venture out, take on the world, all without the help of a travel companion, of a man. And so I went there, and really it wasn't as frightening as I thought it would be. I needed to learn more of the language, but otherwise I got along just fine. Oh, at one point I got lost, and that's when all the men in cars kept offering me free rides. Hey baby, we want your own private taxi? And then I would just move over to the other side of the street. But then one guy told me which bus I was supposed to take, and so I was fine. But the man that ran the hotel thought it wasn't safe for me, and he asked me if my parents loved me, if my family loved me, if anyone loved me, anyone at all, because if anyone did, why would they let me go alone on a trip like this? And then I was touring, and I went to the old churches where there was a saint, and they considered it a saint because their body doesn't decompose. Now, it's not really like religion in America, because they had to put the saint's body in a glass case, because all the people who came to see him would pick a part of his face off as a souvenir.
Wow.
And then, as I was touring, I went to the nunnery, a place that was where supposedly all the bad young girls were sent to live out their remaining days. And they showed me around on the tour, and they said, and here are all of the crosses that the one woman had to carry with them when they walked around in circles in the courtyard. And these, over here, these are the crosses of thorns that the woman wore. And I looked at the crosses, and I looked at the thorns, and there was still blood on them.
Oh.
This is how things were, I guess. And they looked at me as strange because I was taking this trip alone. No one in Mexico City understood why I'd want to be there. No one understood why I wanted to be alone. And this is my last one I wrote for this, and thank you very much, you guys. This is called Echo in My Mind. The thoughts of these women, the visions of these women, the legacies of these women, they echo in my mind. I think about the woman who in her youth led armies to battle and saved her country. And for this, she was burned at the stake because she was a woman and she had beliefs. I think of the woman who wore a black dress as her dress on her wedding day. And no, it's not because she was a goth girl like me, but it was because she had work to do and she knew that she would get her wedding dress dirty, so she wore a black dress. And yeah, she actually had work to do. She was discovering things scientists take for granted now. She was discovering things no man had yet to wrap his head around. I think of the woman who lived in a time where she wasn't allowed a higher education, and so she studied for free, and she worked for free, and she made amazing scientific discoveries until she escaped Germany days before Adolf Hitler would have put her in a concentration camp. She carried a friend's diamond ring while trying to escape, in case she needed it to bribe someone so that she could pass. And her drive, her work, gave the world Nobel Prize-winning collaborations, despite the efforts of the Third Reich, and despite a patriarchy all her life that thought, she's just a woman. She doesn't need to learn. I think about the woman who was in the first wave of women allowed to have a higher education, and still, she left her communist home searching for freedom. She started a life on the other side of the earth because after what she had learned, she knew that understanding philosophy would really set her free. I think of the woman born not far from my home. She studied music, but she wanted to share her story about life as a woman with the rest of the world. And through her journeys, she stayed with a tribe where prisoners, armed with lawnmower blades, broke out of the jail cell, while all she could do was wonder, wait, and listen out into the jungle. During her travels, she took mail airplanes until she was dropped off as far as she could before she made her attempt to get to the actual solitary trip to the North Pole. And as an artist in residence for NASA, she learned how men during the Cold War thought of setting off nuclear bombs on the dark side of the moon. Of course, only a man would think of that. She was on a protest about the economic exploitation of women and the treatment of women as animals, and she was giving out flyers of images of chicks, bunnies, foxes, and pussycats. She even had said that for every dollar a man makes, a woman makes 63 cents. Now, 50 years ago, that was 62 cents. So, with that kind of luck, it'll be the year 3,888 before we make a buck. And I think about what these women say, and I think about what these women mean. And as they say, I can just go on and on and on. But really, if you want to get that personal with me, if you want to get that intimate with me, well, tonight, I've got a headache. For the readings, because I always am thrilled to do book readings here. I'm doing 2 magazine book readings as well as collection books. New issue of Down in the Dirt, Embracing Shadows, was released on the 1st, and as well for CC&D magazine was the 24-year anniversary issue. And yes, this is from Graffiti Park. I usually had references for June or whatever, but Respect Our Existence or Expect Our Resistance sounded like an awesome title for an anniversary issue. So we'll have readings from that as well as from collection books. And it would be great if we could see people out on one stage as well. And thank you. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much.